Your stimulus package actually funded a very ailing financial system, which was essential for small business people. Right. You turned around and invested in the auto industry, and I believe saved millions of jobs, and I think you're actually going to make a profit on them. That's true. And yet, for some reason, the public just doesn't get it. You're losing the war of sound bites. You're losing the media cycles.
At a live televised town hall today, President Obama was asked a lot of questions about why his plan for fixing the economy isn't doing better or going faster. But he was also asked, why is it that he's not getting credit for the things he has accomplished? One hunch? It's because Republicans are busy taking credit for what he has accomplished on the economy. They are taking credit for what he and Democrats in Congress have done, while simultaneously arguing that those same things are bad for America. They're doing both those things at once. Hey, give me credit for this awesome thing that I'm against. This is a man named Dino Rossi. He's the Republican Senate candidate against Democratic Senator Patty Murray in Washington state. But Dino Rossi isn't just running against Senator Murray. He's also running against the stimulus, the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad stimulus.
It really isn't creating jobs because government can only create temporary government jobs.
Okay, so Dino Rossi against the stimulus. It can't do anything, can't create jobs. Here's where it gets awkward. Last week, Dino Rossi campaigned for office at a Whidbey Island shipyard, a shipyard that got more than $800,000 in stimulus money and was therefore able to hire 80 workers. In other words, look at me, Dino Rossi, smiling and shaking hands with these hardworking, resilient Washington business owners while I run against the policy that made their comeback possible. Ta-da! How do you simultaneously hold both of those positions? That the stimulus made this great thing possible for a Washington state business, which you are totally for, while also being totally against the stimulus, which again is what made it possible? How can you simultaneously hold both those positions? You can simultaneously hold both those positions only if you are incapable of being embarrassed by the fact that you hold those two positions at the same time. Topping even that, though, is the man I will always think of as the mayor of Chattanooga, U.S. Senator Bob Corker. Senator Corker was put forward as the guy who would negotiate for the Republican side during the debate over how and even whether to save the American automobile industry late in 2008. We still have a car industry in this country, and that's in large part because when it was going to disappear, the government decided to extend what amounted to a bridge loan to the industry. But when the plan for bailing out the auto industry was being formulated, Senator Corker, again, negotiating for the Republicans, argued that if we were going to save the American car industry, the bailout of the industry should be used as an opportunity to lower the wages of American workers.
The UAW, their benefits and their costs are way above the folks like Honda, Nissan, and Toyota. They have to agree to have a contract in place that puts them on parity with companies like Toyota and Nissan and Volkswagen and other companies here in our country.
Other foreign companies here in our country. Senator Corker, of course, represents a state that is chock full of foreign car companies that are not unionized here and already do pay their workers less. So Bob Corker wanted to make sure that the salaries of American workers employed by American car companies came down to the level being offered by non-union foreign companies. And he wanted a firm date for those salaries to come down because that's the kind of American patriot Bob Corker is. And that's how he wanted to use Washington leverage to reduce American wages. When Bob Corker did not get what he wanted, when he didn't win a Washington-imposed pay cut for American workers, he voted against saving the American car industry. He voted against even allowing the measure to come up for a vote on the Senate floor. He filibustered it. If Bob Corker couldn't cut American auto workers' pay, then Bob Corker wasn't going to support the continued existence of an American auto industry. That guy, I am not joking, on Friday went to a GM plant that was celebrating its ability to rehire 483 previously laid off workers because of the bailout that Bob Corker voted against after failing to get salary cuts for all its workers attached to it. Bob Corker went to that plant to take part in the celebration. How can you be the guy who tried to kill the bailout because you couldn't lower American wages enough, and then show up at the celebration of the success of the bailout? You show up to claim credit for somebody else having saved the company despite your best efforts. What does it take to be that guy?
We had a raucous debate in Washington. A raucous debate about the future of the automobile industry. And I was an active player in that debate. At the end of the day, I think we all have to feel good about what we did, and I know that I contributed to strengthening the auto industry in this country.
Actually, no, you didn't, Senator Corker, not you. We don't actually have to feel good about what you did during the debate over saving the auto industry, because you voted to not save the auto industry. You voted no, because the industry was saved despite you. The industry was saved despite what you did. You were a speed bump that efforts to save the auto industry had to drive over to get where they were going. You were the problem, not the solution. You voted against America having car companies anymore. You voted no, because you couldn't reduce Americans' wages enough. America has a car industry only because no one listened to Bob Corker, because Bob Corker lost when he tried to kill the industry. And now Bob Corker wants to celebrate the American car industry that he tried to kill. There is one silver lining here, though. If Senator Bob Corker is somehow incapable of feeling embarrassed about this, the workers at the GM plant in Spring Hill, Tennessee, tried to help him with that emotional problem. They tried their very best to make him feel embarrassed by doing some serious heckling when Bob Corker showed up at their plant that wouldn't exist if he'd gotten his way.
I would like to introduce Senator Bob Corker.
Apparently, the nobody's fool auto workers whose jobs Bob Corker couldn't kill despite his best efforts would like Senator Corker to be embarrassed to be showing his face at their factory. Also, they'd apparently like him to go home. A silver lining. I told you, a 4-cylinder EcoBoost made in America. Silver lining. Countdown with Keith Olbermann starts right now.